Hey YouTube, this is Variety. Earlier this year, I gave the Gen 1 Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses an 8 out of 10 after testing them every day in Japan. And this year, I wanted to run the test again on the newest edition, the Oakley HSTN Meta Smart Glasses, to see if the upgrade was worth it. I tested them across a few different settings, cities like Osaka and Kyoto and Tokyo, bright chaotic moments like the Shibuya crossing, and theme park environments like Universal Studios, Disneyland, and Disney Sea. Just so you know, all the POV footage in the video was recorded directly on the Oakley HSTN Meta Smart Glasses, and all videos of my face were filmed separately on my Instamax 365, which I'll be reviewing in a different video. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I will be giving my rating for the Oakley Meta Smart Glasses. Let's break it down. Battery life was the biggest challenge again. One charge usually gave me 1 to 2 hours of recording time, and since the glasses limit each recording to 3 minutes per clip, I had to be intentional with when I filmed. One of the best moments I captured was a 3-minute clip of an amazing Japanese woman playing the koto. After I recorded it, I put the glasses back in the case during breaks, and that repeated routine made up for the battery that was used while filming without me having to stop my day to recharge. The case didn't make the battery perfect, but it made it workable by letting me top up during natural pauses instead of forcing me to juggle a phone or charger every hour. The AI behaved the same as last year. No upgrades internally, but it stayed useful when I needed quick answers without stopping. In Osaka, I asked, "Hey Meta, how much is 5,000 yen in USD?" The glasses answered, "It converts to about 32 to 35 US dollars depending on the exchange rate." While waiting to enter Universal Studios, I asked, "Hey Meta, what time does Universal Studios open today?" The response was, "It normally opens at 9 a.m. depending on the season and the day." And later, when planning my day in Tokyo, I checked, "Hey Meta, what time does Tokyo Skytree open?" The glasses said, "It usually opens at 10 a.m., sometimes 9 a.m., depending on seasonal scheduling." The AI didn't change, but the convenience stayed consistent, accurate, and fast for planning and quick math. The LED indicator light flashes every time you record or take a picture. It's annoying, but it didn't stop me from filming. You can cover the light with your finger or with electrical tape, but you have to let it record for a second first, then cover it. If you block it immediately, the sensor detects the blockage and stops the recording from starting at all. So the workaround becomes, hit record, wait a second, cover the light, put the glasses back on your head, and continue. It works, but it's clunky when you have to repeat it every time. And please don't use these to film in private places or invade people's space, because that's the fastest way to look like a creep and get the cops called. Because the glasses record in portrait mode, if you want to post your footage in landscape on YouTube or somewhere else, you have to scale the video up and fit what you want into the frame carefully, which does lower the resolution a bit when you stretch it. The comfort was the same. The pressure on my nose was a little uncomfortable, but if I'm being honest, if I didn't have such a big nose, it would probably feel worse. The first couple days wearing them feels like it might leave a dent in your nose, but after a while, it's more like someone putting pressure on your face. The best daytime camera test was at Shibuya Crossing. The scene was chaotic, with thousands of people moving and giant LED screens constantly shifting brightness and color, but the footage stayed clean, detailed, and flexible in post-editing. The photos captured in 4K quality and was sharp enough for thumbnails and overlays. On the other hand, the glasses recorded videos at 1400p resolution, giving more detail than just standard 1080p, as well as some wiggle room to reframe without the image breaking down. At night, some low light recordings showed a little graininess, but in more controlled dark environments like Team Labs, Planets, and Biovortex, it reduced noise and preserved contrast, which did help the footage hold up better in scenes with extreme light shifts and layered projections. The camera isn't perfect, but it stays dependable for travel moments, POV shots, and intentional recordings. The cameras, lenses, and speakers performed the same as last year in both bright and dark environments. The POV footage held up even in high contrast lighting like night shows and layered digital projections. The built-in speakers sound clear but not private, so if you're playing audio or taking calls, keep the volume at a normal level because if you max it out, everyone around you will hear it too and look at you weird. I realized after daily testing that smart glasses are not something I'd use for everyday life, but they still are great when you're capturing travel footage, hands-free moments, or asking quick questions without interrupting your day. I couldn't test live translations in Japan because Japanese still isn't supported, but I did run a quick test at home using Spanish dubbed anime, and it handled it surprisingly well. If these glasses supported Japanese, I guarantee would rate them a 9 out of 10 because that's the one feature I actually wanted the most while traveling Japan. I am making a separate video where I test the live translations more in depth, so you can watch that next if you want a deeper review. Now it's the time everyone's been waiting for, the rating. The latest Oakley HSTN Meta Smart glasses get a 7 out of 10, and the older Meta Ray-Ban glasses stay at 8 out of 10. At first, I was ready to pick the newer pair because I thought live translations was their main defining upgrade, but once I realized that both models have live translation, the smarter choice became obvious when it came down to price. The older pair gives the same experience for $200 less, and the case feels better too and looks better. So unless you care about style, there is no drawback to choosing the older model over the newest edition. I realized after daily testing that smart glasses are not something I'd use for everyday life, but they still are great when you're capturing travel footage, hands-free moments, or asking quick questions without interrupting your day. So that wraps up my latest smart glasses travel test. I don't recommend smart glasses for everyday life, but I do recommend them for people who love hands-free recording, POV travel footage, instant answers without stopping, or having audio read out loud when needed. If those traits sound like you, this tech makes sense for the way you actually live and move. And if you still have questions, good, because that's exactly what my next video is for. Answering my most asked questions about the Meta glasses from my last comment section. I'll be pulling out the top questions and answering them one by one, so go to that video next, drop your question there, and I might feature it. Subscribe, peace.